This is a graft that I did last year. Unfortunately, I put it down here in the shaded area, and even though I've come in here and trimmed off some branches and stuff like that to get sun in there, it just sat dormant this year for like 2 months after the rest of the tree had started to sprout and was growing fairly well. And it had several branches bigger than this that weren't doing anything. In fact, this one wasn't doing anything for a long time. So what I did was I cut these off, the two of those, and I found some existing branches on the original tree like this one here, but they had not grown any leaves yet, even though the rest of the tree had grown leaves. So I wondered if I could graft it, that late in the year, like 2 months after it normally did. And so I grafted this on here, and it took another 2 months before this thing finally started sprouting. And one way I helped it was, as new growth would start shooting out below the graft, I would cut that off, because basically your sap is like flowing water, and it's coming up here and it'll take the path of least resistance, and if it's got new growth, it'll grow on that new growth. So by cutting that off, I'm forcing it into here. I knew these hadn't died because they didn't shrivel up, so I knew they were still good grafts, but they just weren't growing. Now this one here I did early, like February, but for several months it did nothing. It just sat there, and I kept breaking off these new shoots that were growing up, or lots of them were growing here. I kept breaking them off to try and force it into grow, and finally it started to grow. And as it got a little spindly, I actually tied a dead branch below it and wrapped it up there tight just to support it. But it looks like it's got a pretty strong bud growth there now. It should support itself, but that's drawn really good. And this is a pluot. You can see the leaves are different than the apricot leaves. So this is an apricot tree, and this is a pluot graft here. And this one here was also done early this spring, and it's got really good growth there. It just goes up here. I laid it on top of this branch here. This is all new growth from that one graft. Really growing good. And this is a pluot graft that I did last year. And so this is the second year, and it's growing really well. I didn't get any fruit on it this year. Pluots need a pollinator. They need like a Santa Rosa plum. And I have a Santa Rosa plum across the garden, but it's not real close, so I think I'll graft on some Santa Rosa plum onto this tree also near it, so that it'll give me some fruit next year.